Okay, y'all, I don't have much time to work on this order. I only have about a good 2.5 nights to work on it and to complete it, which is not enough time for me, but I have to make this work. I usually tell anybody that I'm working with that I need at least a week to complete whatever they're requesting. For one, a lot of things that people request, it's probably my first time working on something like that or trying that certain sewing technique. I need the time to register all of the information, to make sure I'm doing it right, to do a test run on whatever they're requesting before I actually use the good fabric or whatever they provide to me. 2.5 nights is not enough time to do this particular order, but I have to make it work. So I have to create a custom biker hat. I have to create a custom corset-like top out of a white button-up shirt. And I have to expand a skirt that's too small. Hopefully the skirt is not going to take me that long. I'm only worried because it's a pleated skirt. It's a school uniform skirt that has pleats in it. And I'm going to have to take out the sides, put 2 side panels in it. So I don't know if I have to create more pleats, install another zipper. I don't know what I have to do. I have to actually examine the skirt and see what all I need to do with it. My main concern is the corset-like top. She provided a white button-up shirt and I'm going to be cutting the top. She's going to wear the top as like a crop top. The bottom part is what I'm working with, and I want to create a corset-like top with the bottom. So she wants grommets to go down the side, and I'm going to put in ribbons so she can tie it and cinch it real tight so it can fit to her body. I did work with this client last year. She provided a jersey that I did the same technique with that, but I didn't put boning in the corset top last year, but it still came out good. I told her that I am going to try boning with this top because I do want it to have more structure because it is a button-up shirt, a men's white button-up shirt. So I want it to have some structure. I want it to be fitted on her. This will be my second time trying corset with boning. Some boning you have to contour it to the body, but this one I'm just going to do straight style lines. So I'm going to do 2 lines here for the boning, 2 lines going this way, and maybe 2 going straight down. I'm not sure yet, but it's going to be straight, simple, but I do want to put boning in this top. So let's take a look at what she has. But before I go any further, welcome back, y'all. If you're new to the channel, my name is Michelle. I do all things sewing over here. Sewing vlogs, sewing tutorials, everything sewing. So if that's your vibe, go ahead and like this video and subscribe. So let's take a look at what she has. So she provided a white button-up men's top. I took all of her measurements. I took her bust, her waist measurement from where she wants the top to start all the way to the bottom. She wants the top part to kind of curve down and then come up, so I have to take that into account. So I got all of those measurements. I got measurement from going from armpit to armpit. I got her back measurements for the back part of the corset top. I do have to cut the top part and make this part here the crop top, and then work with the bottom half for her corset top. I will have to line this because shirt fabric is a little thin and it's a little see-through, so I will have to line this, which is perfect because I will be putting boning in it, and you do need a lining piece on the back in order to make your channels for the boning. Here is the skirt. What she did was go to a uniform shop. She just bought whatever size they had available, which is too small on her. They were able to give her a piece of fabric. She was able to give her a ½ yard of fabric. And I told her, please grab that because we're going to need it. So I'm going to use this fabric to create her side panels. and to also make her biker hat. She wants a biker hat, and it's going to be made out of the same pattern. The biker hat is not going to take me long. Maybe I should do that first. Maybe I should work on that first. I'm going to see. I did try to look for actual fabric so I can make her a skirt from scratch, but it was so hard trying to find this pattern, this exact pattern. Two of the vendors that I found, they did sell this pattern, but they were sold out. Maybe because school just started about 2 months ago, so they were all sold out. I'm so glad that she was able to get a half a yard from this uniform shop. That is going to work out to put the side panels in the skirt. I also have to shorten it because she wants it shorter than what this is. I'll just see what all I get from this once I shorten it. This will help me so much. This is what I have to work with. This is just going to be a video of me trying to figure this out. I'm going to put this shirt on the side. I think I'm going to leave this for tomorrow so I can just work on it by itself. I'll work on the hat and the skirt for tonight. I have this pattern. I'll link it in the description. It's actually a scrub hat, but I don't know if the biker hat came first or the scrub hat came first. Probably the biker hat came first and then it became a hospital scrub hat. They're basically the same style. This is a little different. I've never seen a pattern fold like this before. So I folded it long ways and then I have to fold it this way. Just making sure everything is sitting right on that fold. I got everything pinned down. It looks like this. These are going to be the two straps right here. This part here is going to be the two sides of the hat. Now I have to cut out the top part of the hat. I want to match this up with the side part of the hat. I know that this white pattern mark here is the center of the hat. So I want to make this crown part the same pattern so it can line up with each other. So I'm going to do my best to match it up so it can just look seamless. I'm going to flip this over this way. This is going to be the back of the hat. This is going to be the front of the hat. And I'm going to try to get this white line that's right here. Try to get this right on the fold. This piece, I have to fold this in half. I made some notches on the strap part where I have to start sewing, and so from there go all the way down to this part, and I have to do the same thing on the other side. This was a really simple sew. If you're a beginner sewist, this can be something that you can start with if you want to sew. It took me probably about 20-30 minutes to put it together. I know next time if I do this, it'll probably be even shorter, probably like 15 minutes. This was a very simple sew and it's so cute. The hardest thing for me was to match up all of these lines with the plaid, and I pretty much got it spot on. I was really focused on this white line right here. I wanted the side of the hat, the brim part, to fit the dome of the hat, and I pretty much got it spot on. I'm so glad that I was able to do that. And here's the inside. I went ahead and serged the inside because this plaid material, it frays really easily. So I had to hurry up and serge those edges so they won't fray as much, and it looks pretty good. I love the back part. This was optional. You can add a piece of elastic on the back or not, but I wanted to add it on there just to give it something. Here are the ties to tighten the hat once you have it on. Really cute. You can tie this up and just put this on the side. I really have about an hour and a half of the 3 hours that I was going to allow myself for tonight. Now I can focus on the skirt. I have to shorten the skirt, and I have to add side panels to widen the skirt to fit the client's measurements. This is pretty small. I don't know if this was the largest size she was able to get, or like the only size that they had since school already started. They probably all sold out of the larger sizes, so she just got whatever they had. So I told her to just get whatever they had, and since she had the extra fabric, I'm going to use strips of this fabric here to make her side panels. This is what I have to figure out once I put the side panels in, if I have to create pleats with the new side panels. And I know there's a zipper on one of the sides. Yeah, there's a zipper here. So I'm going to have to probably open that up, remove the zipper, and replace the zipper on the new panel. I don't know if I want to go through all of that struggle. What I may do is just cut alongside the zipper and place another panel right alongside of the zipper. And then that way, this will already be in place. She could still zipping it up, but I'll just have the extra side panel right on the side. There is a side seam right here. See right here, they have this extra fabric here. I am going to take a minute and flip this wrong side out and just inspect everything, assess everything before I make my first move on it. I think that's what I'm going to follow, but I just want to make sure before I start cutting on this skirt. Alright, I've inspected this skirt. My first plan of attack is to take off the length. She wants this to be 20 inches in length. This is about 22 inches, 23 inches, which is not a whole lot. So I think I'm just going to up it up maybe 2 more inches and make it like a 18-inch length of a skirt, just to push it up a little higher, because I think I went down a little bit more when I took her measurements. So I'm going to bump it up to like a 18-inch skirt. This skirt is already folded about 4 inches. So I'm just going to treat the folded edge as my guide and just cut alongside this edge. And that will make a mark at about the 19-inch mark, and that'll give me an inch to fold, make the new hemline, and just top stitch that hemline. The bottom part of the skirt is serged. Now I don't have to worry about that fraying. I'm going to work on one of the sides and just seam rip this side to open this up. Now I can see clearly what the waist is measuring out to. So this waist is a 32. I need her waist to be at a 38. So I'm going to do one side panel at 3 inches, the other side panel at 3 inches. But I also have to add on seam allowance to each side. That's going to be 3.5 inches for this side panel, 3.5 inches for this side panel. I don't think I want to fool with the zipper, taking this out and then putting it back in once I put in the side panel. I am just going to probably make a cut right alongside the zipper and put the 3-inch panel right here. This side is not going to be a problem since I was able to split this all the way. So I'll just add my 3.5-inch strip all the way down and then sew it to this side and then sew it to this side. And if I have to, I'll just pleat the extra panel that I put in here. I was going for a 1-inch fold and just sew that down. I may want to go a little higher for her, do a 2-inch fold and then stitch this down. Now that I know what the plan is for the skirt, it shouldn't take me long to complete it. I'm giving myself about 45 minutes to an hour to complete the skirt. And then I can move on to the button-up shirt, making that into a corset top. So I'm going to wrap it up here and I'll see you guys tomorrow evening. All right, y'all, it is the next day. I'm actually working on my lunch break. I only have about 30-40 minutes to do as much work as I can on my lunch break, and then I have to go back to work. And then once I come back for this evening, then I'll be able to work throughout the night. So just like last night, I'm still gonna give myself only 2 or 3 hours to work in my sewing room, and then I'm gonna stop. Hopefully I'll be able to finish up the skirt and start working on making the button-up shirt into a corset top. I'm hoping that it only takes me about 2 hours to complete that. I've already separated the skirt on the side seam. My plan for the other side of the skirt is to create a slit, just cut through the skirt right alongside the zipper and install the 3.5 strip as the panel. That's what I'm going to work on for the next 35 minutes and see where this gets me. We're just gonna work through it. Last left off with splitting the skirt on the side seam. I'm going to start with creating this side panel and I'll just work from there. I guess it's best to just line this up with what I have. This is the original skirt here. This is the extra fabric. I'm going to line up the white lines. Just make sure everything is matching. I truly don't think that this is the same type of fabric. This black on the original skirt is much darker than this piece of fabric. So I'm not sure if these two fabrics come from the same vendor or if it's even the same. These lines aren't really matching up. I'm going to have to finesse it and kind of stretch it out so it can match. I got the side panel for this side, which is the right side of the skirt. Now I'm dealing with the left side of the skirt, which has a zipper. I am going to cut right alongside this zipper and make like a new side seam and install the 3.5-inch panel right next to the zipper. And before I fool with this anymore, I'm going to serge this edge and this edge so it doesn't fray a whole lot. Take my extra fabric, my left panel and my right panel. I'm gonna bring these to the serger and just make sure I serge all sides so these won't fray as well. The last thing that I want to do is make a waistband for the panels that I just cut out. So there's this little piece that sits right on top of the skirt, the waistband part. I want to create short waistband pieces for the two panels that I just cut out. I have my two waistbands. I got them as equal as I can, so it's gonna go just like that. I am going to slip the waistbands right on top of the strips. Just do a top stitch right on the bottom of the waistband and then serge the outside. So now it looks just like the skirt. So when I'm ready to attach the skirt, it'll all look seamless. Here's the back of the skirt. So I have to meet this with the panel here, right sides together. Match this up as perfect as I can. I'm wondering if I should go down a little bit so it can match perfectly. Start down here. I need to add the side panel to the other side of the skirt. After that, I'll assess the skirt. I just want to make sure that the measurements look okay before I move on to the actual top. It's evening time. I'm a little tired, but I have to push through this and try to get this done within the next 2 or 3 hours. I am pretty much done with the skirt. I just have to take in this bottom part of the skirt, fold this in, and hem the bottom of the skirt. So let's go ahead and measure this just to make sure I got everything correct. Zipper here. This is the side seam. I don't know if it's showing on camera, but this is the side panel that I put in, and here is the other panel right here. Her waist is a 38. The original waist was a 32, and I had to extend it out to a 38. It's coming out to 18, which is 36, but there's a piece of elastic back here. It'll expand out to 19, which is the 38. I don't know if this is accurate, but I think your hip is 5 to 6 inches away from your waist. So I just like to go down about 6 inches for the hip area. And this is adding up to 23. And her hip measurement is a 46. This was the only concern that I had. We came up with a measurement of 20. And I don't know, I just feel like that's a little too long. She did mention that she wants to wear bloomers underneath her skirt, and I don't know if she wants that to show underneath her skirt. I'm not sure. I had a measurement of 20. I'm going to up that up to maybe an 18, and I think that will be good. My sewing gauge right here, and I'm going to measure this 1 1/4. I'll do 1 1/4. I think I want to try the blind hem stitch. I've tried this before. It didn't look right on these pair of pants that I was trying it on, and I think it's because the pair of pants was like a linen type fabric, and it was really lightweight, so I just didn't like the pinching, and I didn't like the fact that I could see the stitching of the blind stitch on the outside of the pants. But I think I want to try that with this skirt. Since this material, this plaid material, is a little thicker, it won't be so noticeable. So I think I want to try this again. The setting on here is number 10. I'm just gonna test it out on a small section just to see how it looks. The bottom hem, I folded it in where I want it to hit. Now that I have a crease on the bottom hem, so this is the right side, this is the wrong side. I have the bottom hem folded, so I have to flip this back and then leave just a little bit of the folded hem exposed, and then it's going to stitch on this little part right here of the folded hem. It's going to do about 3 stitches on this part, and then stitch one time on the actual skirt, and then go back down on this part here. Go down a couple of stitches and then stitch on the skirt. Up close, I can see the stitches. I don't know if you can see that, but it's very minimal. Like, I can barely see it if I put it far away. and I think once I hit this with the iron, it won't be so noticeable. I think I'm gonna do it this way instead of sitting here and hand stitching this all the way around. We are finally on the last part of this outfit. I know when she tried it on, I kind of asked her like where she wanted it to hit on her chest. She still wants this top part, but she wants it to be really cropped, and then that'll give me all of this to work with to make her corset. I am going to cut this about here, so that'll give me enough room to fold it under, double fold it, and stitch it. I'm just gonna curve this to go down. The sleeve for sure is too big on her. I measured it to be 2 inches to be taken away. I think I'm only gonna take away like 1.5 inches because I just don't want it to be too tight under her arm. Okay, this part of the top is not hard. The only thing is that I want to serge everything, and I feel like I need to change this to white. The serging thread is going to show on this shirt if I do it in black. It's a lot of work threading this thing. Whenever it's time to do it, this is something that I have to do, so I'm just going to take this off. I don't know, I may have to clean the inside too. Oh yeah, it's dirty. So I'm going to clean the inside of this first, and then I can start working on threading it. So exhausted. I'm so tired. I was able to finish off this top part of the button-up shirt. It's gonna come all the way up here on her and scoop down. I took off 1.5 inches off the sleeve because the sleeve was really big on her. And yeah, this is done. This is done. It's getting pretty late and I am going over my time. I said only 2 or 3 hours. I feel like if I take my shower, it'll give me a little bit more energy to go on for about 20 to 30 minutes and then I can stop. I don't want to be in here until 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. So I just want to at least get started on the corset just to get an idea of what I'm doing. And then once I figure it all out, then I can just stop and then revisit it tomorrow. Probably tomorrow afternoon again when I'm here for my lunch hour. Then when I come back tomorrow evening, I could just finish it off. Hard thing about this is I just can't work on this whole order within a day's time. If this was my full-time job, I would probably be able to do all of this in one day. And that's why I tell everybody, please give me at least a week to work on everything because I need this time. I just can't burn myself out and just keep working 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the morning trying to get things done. So enough of my ranting and venting. I am going to go take my shower. Hopefully I get revitalized. I have more energy to come back in here to start working on the corset. But if I don't, then I'll just start working on this tomorrow. I'll talk to y'all later. Okay, I am going to give myself 30 minutes to work. This is what I have to work with right here. I'm going to make 2 channels right alongside the button placket, 2 channels going diagonal, and probably 2 channels going straight up and down on the side. It just depends on how much space I have according to her measurements. This is a dress shirt, a men's button-up shirt. It's pretty thin and it's see-through. I'll have to line this anyway because with a corset you need a lining in order to make your channels for your boning. I think I'm going to add padding inside of the corset along with interfacing to have some structure to the corset, and also for the grommets that I have to put on the side. I'll be using the bottom portion of this front panel. I'm going to take this to the sewing machine and sew this button placket down so all of this is closed. This is my last and final day of completing this order. I'm just getting a little anxious with this corset top. Last night I decided to put padding with this top. I don't know why I did that. It just made it look really bulky. I didn't like what it was giving, so I scratched that. I took the padding out and I just added 2 layers of interfacing to give it some kind of stiffness. And I think this is gonna work, especially after I add the lining to this. I think it's gonna be good. And then when I add the boning, I'm thinking she's gonna be fine, especially once she tightens up the strap or the ribbon on the sides of the corset. She will be fine. Plus, I've made a corset for her last year for the alumni event last year, and she said everything was fine. So I'm kind of doing the same shape that I made for her last year. She wants the front to dip down just a little bit lower, and I came up on the sides. This should be fine. That's the only nerve-wracking part for me with adding the boning. I've studied, I've researched, I've looked up videos, so I'm comfortable with doing it, and I think that's going to help with giving her some structure to this button up top since it's really lightweight. I only have about 30 minutes right now. Once I get back home this evening, then I'll finish up whatever I need to finish up with this top. I just have to put the grommets in, install the grommets, and lace the corset up. But I have to run out to Michael's to find some ribbon to match with the skirt, this gold color. And I thought I had ribbon that closely matched this. It's slightly off. This is more of a gold color, and this is like a yellow gold. And it kind of looks the same on camera, but it's slightly off. I want to try to find ribbon that matches this exactly because that's what she requested. If I can't find any that closely match this color, then I guess I'm just gonna have to use this. This back piece, I decided to put boning in the back piece because this is very difficult fabric to work with. It's a button-up shirt, very lightweight. It's see-through and it has stretch to it. I'm dealing with a lot of challenges with this fabric. I'm running into a lot of bumps and creases and ripples and and it's kind of irritating me because I just want to get it perfect. But when you're dealing with stuff like this, when you're dealing with certain fabrics like this, this is what you're going to run into. Since it is going to be a corset and it's going to be tightened to conform to the body, I'm not going to really worry about it that much, and I'm not going to beat myself up. But now what I want to do is put the back and the front pieces together and make my marks for the holes that I have to punch out in order to put the grommets in place. So I have this size grommet. I think I'm going to do 5 on each side. I'll make sure to measure all of these out, but it looks like I could do 6. I have made it back from Michael's. I could not find any ribbon color that closely matched the skirt. It's a little bright. I don't know if I want to use this. And this was $7. Are they crazy? I was like, what? Where are the sales? This is why I miss Joann's, because Joann's never miss with the sales. You got 50% off on any original sale item. I miss Joann so much. Michael's didn't have any sales going on. I had to sign up for discounts. This little thing is $7. I thought it was $2.99, but when I got to the register, it came up to $6.57. But I don't know if I want to pop this open because it's a little bright. I may have to use this one. Put this one close to this. This one will look better with this. I think I'm going to return this. I have this cutting tool for the grommets, but I don't like this. I don't know if it's just dull because it doesn't cut all the way through. I have 24 holes to cut, and that's for the front and the back. Alright y'all, I am done with this order. There's no right way to show this corset, especially since I put this bone in there. I tried to put it on my dress form, but it just didn't show as good as I wanted it to. I went ahead and sent her a photo of how it was looking, and just to show her that she's really gonna have to get somebody to like strap her in so her waist can be snatched. Although I did have some problems with this fabric that I had to work with, because she wanted me to turn a button up men's shirt into a corset. This was rippling on me a little bit. I had some challenges with that. I just worked through it, and whatever imperfections that's on it, I just have to live with that and just move on. And then the top part of the button-up shirt, she wanted me to crop it, and I had to take in the sleeves, about 1.5 inches off the sleeves. And here is the skirt that I had to put extra panels on it to make it a bigger skirt in the waist and in the hip. She wanted me to make her a biker hat out of the plaid material that she provided to me. This was really fun to make. It only took about 25 to 30 minutes and it came out so cute. That is it. So I am going to pack this up for her so I can deliver it to her tomorrow, and I'll be done. Alright y'all, that is it for today's video. If you like this video, go ahead and like it, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.